Hi. My name's Meg. I read books and I'm gay and that's about all we do here. Welcome back to my channel. I've been away for a while. Again, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this whole like consistency thing. It's really where I come unstuck. But I've been working. I've had an internship over the summer and also having a bit of a breakdown and also starting the testing process for autism. So that's how my summer's been. For anyone in the UK who's been through that process is watching this, please can you like comment whether I can DM you or something, because the whole thing is a bit weird. But today I'm going to be taking you through my top 5 favourite things about my Kindle, because I use my Kindle in basically all of my content now. Like it's always in my reading vlogs on my TikTok. It's probably my second most used electric device aside from my phone, because I am still a capitalist whore. And everyone always asks me whether it's worth them buying one, whether I recommend a Kindle, etc, etc. So I thought I would just sit down and give you my top 5 reasons why I bought a Kindle and why you might want to buy a Kindle, and hopefully that might help you a little bit. Who knows, who knows. First, I want to talk about one of the books I'm currently reading on my Kindle, which is Pigman, Scorpion and the Barbershop Detectives, which was very kindly sent to me by Blackstone Publishing. This book is like, I would describe it as like if Poirot met Sherlock and they made a little cozy mystery in like 1910s Britain. I've seen so many people talk about cozy mysteries in the last couple of months. Like I've just seen them everywhere and I've never read one until this. Now I am so solidly in the hype train because this is so cute. It's such a nice time. It's just the romanticism of this little sleepy English town and it just warms my heart. And it's so intriguing. There are multiple mysteries that Pigman, Scorpion, our detective, is trying to solve, and I find myself reading it and just trying to work them out the whole time, and so far I have not got a single one right, because I am a dum-dum, but also because it's just so intricately and well plotted and I really am enjoying this book. And if you want to get your hands on a copy and put some fun back into your reading with this classic throwback whodunit, there is a link in my description to buy the book. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because it's giving like BBC like detective programme in the middle of the day when you're ill off school, and that vibe is like my favourite vibe. So absolutely, hands down, I'm loving it. I do just want to mention the elephant in the room. Yes, my Kindle is covered in Taylor Swift stickers and they do come off really easily, so I haven't ruined my Kindle for life and I like to swap them out every so often, but at the moment she's giving Taylor and it's the best thing ever. So I'm a Swiftie at heart. Can you not see that? I like everyone knowing while I'm reading my Kindle Unlimited romances that I am a Swiftie. So firstly, about my Kindle. This is a Kindle Paperwhite. It is not the newest edition. I think the newest edition has like a bigger screen. I got it for my birthday a couple of years ago, and yeah, if you're looking to buy a Kindle, if this video convinces you want a Kindle, I think the best places to look are on Prime Day or like Black Friday on Amazon. They always have really good deals for like holiday sales on Amazon, so make sure that if you're buying it, you buy it at that time because it's so much cheaper. Okay, so the first reason I love my Kindle basically changed how I read because of this one thing, is for reading at night. I do most of my reading at night. I like to read at night. I think nighttime is when I'm at my most productive. I tend to work at night as well. But I also do not like having a light on and holding a big book, especially like a hardcover. So I would never read at night as much as I wanted to. I wanted to like fall asleep reading and I could just never find a feasible way to do it until I had this bad boy. I had the first Kindle I've had 3 Kindles. The first one was like the original basic one, not the one with the keyboard, but the one with like the page turners, and it didn't have a backlight. So like that did nothing for my bedtime reading. And then I got my Kindle Paperwhite with a backlight and changed everything. Except for the fact I was really ill then, so I didn't really read very much anyway. That was in my like big reading slump. But I have a specific setting on here of how I read at night, and it has genuinely changed everything for me. I fall asleep reading now, which I never used to do. I probably do about 30% of all my reading like as I'm falling asleep. So I have the like text on this huge font size, like it's enormous, probably one before like the highest like size font, and you can barely fit one word on a page, but it is so perfect for having dark mode on, brightness down, and the massive font, and you can it's just so much easier to read like that than if you were to read on a phone. I know a lot of people ask about like reading on a screen, because obviously reading on a screen can hurt your eyes like your phone or your iPad. So the Kindle has an e-ink display, not like a blue light display, which I find so much easier on my eyes. I don't find myself straining at all when I'm reading at night, and I just think, especially because reading at night for me is such an anxiety soother, it's something that really helps me just take myself away from whatever. I have really bad nighttime anxiety, and reading just really helps me escape from that, and this has been the most wonderful thing in helping me with that. The second thing I love about my Kindle, which is exclusive to this one. My two older ones didn't have this, but this one does, and let me tell you, it is a game changer. And that is the fact that it is water resistant. I don't know quite what the water resistance is. I think it's probably about similar as like an iPhone, but I read in a bath, I read in the pool, I actually read in the shower a couple of times, which you have to stand far enough away that you're not like hitting, like the water isn't like hitting the screen, but it works. So I was so into the book, and I think it was Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, and I just would not put it down even in the shower, so I got in the shower and I read on my Kindle. But this thing is water resistant, and it takes so much of the like worry away that you're gonna A, break it, B, if you were reading like a physical book, you know, when it goes all like crinkly and you gotta put it on the radiator. Is there any of that worry? No, there is not. So my two favourite places of reading are in my bed all curled up at bedtime, and in the bath in a big bubble bath. Oh my god, my favourite. And this makes it so much easier to do both of those things, which is why I use it so goddamn much. Reason number 3 I love my Kindle so much is the ease of customization on it. So I have my stickers, I have my Taylor stickers, I also have a case somewhere, I think it's in my drawer, but it has even more stickers on it. They do so many cute cases that it's impossible not to find one that you love. And it's like, for me, I love having stickers on everything, and I love having devices that like really show my personality, and this is just another thing I can do that with. And it's less embarrassing than walking around with like Den of Vipers in your hands, because no one knows you're reading Den of Vipers because you have a wholesome Taylor Swift Kindle. Thank you very much. But not just customization in terms of that, but also in how you read. Like I talked about it with my bedtime reading, but to be able to have the option to just have pretty much any font that works well with your brain, to have the brightness that you need. It gives you now the choice of whether to have your book cover on the screen when you use it as a screensaver. You never used to have this, it used to be like a picture. This is my favourite thing they've ever brought in on the Kindle. And I know lots of people love looking at the cover of their book, and you can still do that on this. I know on like newer Kindles as well, so I think on newer Kindles there's a warmth like customization as well as a brightness and like a dark mode. I do not have a newer Kindle, so I cannot vouch for that, but I know that would probably also be really helpful because I use Night Shift on my phone all the time. The ability to customize your reading experience is really just chef's kiss. And also not just in your reading experience, but how like your reading displays. So I always have the time left in chapter up, because I love when I'm in a book and I can feel how long I've got left to go, or you know when you're like flicking through a book to see how much longer your chapter is, and you're like, just one more chapter, and then it turns out to be like 50 pages. Well, with this, the Kindle calculates your reading speed, and then you can have like time left in the chapter or time left in the book, and it will give you an accurate amount of time as to how long it's going to take you to finish that chapter, which is the most helpful thing ever. That sort of leads into my 4th point, which was really important for me personally, which I know you guys might not know about me, but I have multiple chronic illnesses. With that, it means that I sometimes get really floppy wrists. So I get floppy wrists and I need to like lie down in bed a lot. I'm very tired a lot of the time, and like I said, anxiety reliever for me, reading. So having the ability to just prop this up instead of having to move like a massive hardcover with pages, but just using this little thing has saved my ability to read when I really want to, which is sometimes when I feel like trash. And the accessibility of a Kindle doesn't just reach to my own physical chronic illnesses, but also I'm pretty sure you can download audiobooks and connect Bluetooth headphones to it. You can have, as I said, the font as big as you want. There's like dyslexia friendly font. So if you struggle with reading actual books, this probably will help you find a way to read that is most comfortable for you, and hopefully speed up your reading process as well. I just think if there's something not entirely comfortable about your reading experience, that the Kindle could offer that, something that might help with that and might make reading easier and more fun for you, and it's probably worth an investment in it if that's the case. You can also annotate in a Kindle. I'm not sure many people know this, but if you literally just hold down and like scroll, it annotates for you, and you can add little like notes in there as well. I always make myself laugh with the notes I add because I'm a sarcastic little... Most of the time it connects to your Goodreads as well, so I keep my Kindle on airplane mode most of the time just because I find it keeps the battery life better, so I don't charge it for like 2 weeks at a time. But this gives you the option to connect straight to your Goodreads, which is another massive bonus. So if you know that going on your phone to get to your Goodreads, if you use Goodreads, I know a lot of people use the story graph, which I really should, but I haven't got around to yet, will distract you from reading, you just do it straight from here and it's so cool. It's such a streamlined reading experience, I think is what I'm trying to say. And finally, the most important, because what are you doing on your Kindle? You're reading books. The ability to have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of books at your fingertips is something that is still such a novelty to me. There are like 3 main places I can think of to get your ebooks from, but there are a multitude of other places. So there's obviously the Kindle store, which has daily deals, so like 99p deals. Books are always on cheap on the Kindle store. There's also like free public domain classics as well. If you have a Kindle, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on the store because one day the book you want to read will be 99p. The second one that a lot of people get their books from is obviously Kindle Unlimited, which is something that is just through Amazon. So I know there are other e-readers that people get like Kobos or something, but Kindle Unlimited I think is a big selling point for a lot of people for the Kindle, especially with a lot of book talk books being on there, so a lot of like romances, dark romances, that sort of thing. They're on Kindle Unlimited, and basically you just like get them out as though it's a library, and then once you've read it, you give it back, you get it. I think there's like, you can get 6 out at a time, and authors still benefit from it, so I think it is overall quite a good service. I know that there's definitely a lot of books on there that a lot of people on Book Talk are interested in, so that's probably worth checking out, and probably would work out a lot cheaper if you factor in the cost of the Kindle and like the subscription to Kindle Unlimited as to how many books like you buy to read the same amount of books you would read in Kindle Unlimited. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I don't know. The other option there is that you can actually connect your Kindle to your library. So I know there's a lot of like, I think, I can't remember what the app is called for our library, but you basically do it all through an app and it just connects to your Kindle and then the book will appear, and it's just like getting a normal library book out of the library except it's on here. And then another way that you can get books is to sideload them through just a USB cable, your laptop. I'm not going to go into where you can find books, although you can buy EPUBs and stuff from publishers, from a lot of places. Like independent authors will offer an ebook that you can download straight to your Kindle that you pay for online. There are also obviously books that you can find books anywhere, but I'm not going to go into that because that's far from me to teach you. But so I think I've got over 1,000 books on my Kindle now, which is an awful lot, but I could never be like, where am I going to put 1,000 books? I have enough already, and I just, the fact that they all are on here, I'm like that old woman that's like, all of those on there, what? But it really is pretty cool. Anything I have the urge to read at any point, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do that instead of having to wait for it to come, you know. So hopefully my top 5 reasons as to why I love my Kindle, why I use my Kindle, might have given you an insight into whether a Kindle is worth buying for you, whether you think it's worth your money. The link to Pigman Scorpion is in my description, so thank you to Blackstone Publishing again. And if you have any questions, I am more than happy to answer them in the comments, because I just love talking about Kindles, because it's like both my favourite things, which is technology, like, which I'm a nerd about at the moment. My special interest at the moment is retro gaming and emulation, so look out for a couple. If anyone's interested in a video about that and like how I emulate, maybe I might make that, I don't know. That would be a very niche video that I'm not sure many of you guys would like, but I might make it because I'm in my happy place at the moment. Maybe subscribe if you feel like doing that, that would be really sweet. And I will see you in my next video, which I will again try and make it more consistent, but I cannot promise anything. But see you all soon.